The Lark and the Wren is a 1991 fantasy novel by Mercedes Lackey. It is book one in the Bardic Voices series, but acts as a standalone, essentially. In fact, it's almost two books itself, the first half being pretty different than the second half. Rune is our main character. We learn of her via, well, we get told about her from other characters around her. She's the daughter of a tavern wench, but dreams to get the proper training of a bard. Her mother makes Rune, call her by her name rather than mother, so not a very loving relationship there. And generally, her relationship with people around the town is not the greatest. She does have a sort of wise old man figure in Raven, a minstrel that travels through and teaches her a song from time to time. But again, not really a Merlin character either. The call to adventure comes when Rune takes her fiddle to Skull Hill and strikes a bargain with a ghost there. Since she otherwise won't have a way, being lower class as she is, to get to Bardic school, it's immediately obvious that this is a coming of age and aimed more for younger audiences in some ways, but in other ways it definitely feels adult, particularly with the abuse and the kind of open talk of love and sex. It's not out there, just there briefly but obvious, and this evolves into actual romance later in the book. It's rather straightforward. Rune's a typical not like other girls girl. Pretty much, she's 14. She faces bullies and threats of rape and abusers with more strength than her, physically at least. Which I can appreciate Lackey actually talking about it all. It's stereotypical, but Rune is still a strong character, and I commend the depth that Lackey actually gives her, and I enjoy Rune as a character too. There's a lot of misogyny here, if it wasn't obvious. The key to the story kind of involves it, and Rune's looks are not the striking looks of others around her accordingly, and the guild doesn't even accept girls, apparently. So, similarly, with poverty being a key thing against her, so is misogyny. In this sense, though, also the church kind of gets involved, and the church is generically, terribly evil Christian that you kind of get from books around this time. I just kind of expected it. Doesn't surprise me, but it's, kind of a lazy trope. The magic is prominent in the early Ghost Hill segment, but then takes a backseat to the latter part of the book. Overall, it's a neat story about following your dreams, not for glory in battle, to be surrounded by death, but maybe glory with tunes and music. Only bards compose, and minstrels only sing songs, that they didn't make themselves. So she wants to be an artist, a creator. I'm impressed with the breadth of characters that feel real and work well in relation to Rune. Some you learn to care for, like Tarno or Taliesin. This latter is where the Wren of the book comes in, while Lark is a name later associated, with another main character. So these are nicknames, kind of, and the whole series kind of has names like that. The book itself will be named for a bird, but the characters are not quite named that, or at least they'll have several names. There are kind of a lot of characters, and it's partially because of how many steps this story has. It's rather long, and might feel meandering to some, though it's actually really not that long of a book at all. It's just kind of a normal size. Those who like long and slow burns, though, I feel like would enjoy this. It's kind of relaxed and cozy in some sense. There's also a type of gypsy, pretty much. Gypsies are present, and while this seems like a generic fantasy version of the Romani, it seems kind of to be barely peeking through kind of a connection to our world. And these gypsies are the essential free musicians, not tied down by, silly bard guild ideas, and turn out to be the cool and good guys in the book over the years that this book actually takes place. There are also some fantasy races. They don't get much spotlight, and they're rather mysterious. Some are elven, some are resemble more beasts, and we do have some cool fae things going on in this book as well. But I will stop it there so I do not spoil you. Overall, I would surprisingly enjoyed this one. I look forward to reading more by Lackey, but definitely more in this series as well. Again, standalones, but the series, I do believe, takes place at least in somewhat chronological order. They seem to be related, at least in part, but the next book, for example, doesn't follow the Lark and the Wren as the main characters. It follows other characters. So anyways, though I'm sure the Lark and Wren appear in those other books too. Anyways, Liam from Liam's Lyceum. I'll catch you next time.